Good evening, everyone. Prophet Hannah here. Just wanted to come to you this afternoon and just share a prophetic dream that the Lord gave me, a very profound dream that the Lord gave me. And really, starting to see a lot of visions come to pass, a lot of prophetic dreams come to pass. And one in particular, where you're just looking at so many empty buildings. No matter what town you go through, there's empty buildings everywhere. Okay. And there's all these people sleeping behind these buildings. There's like all these homeless people. There's more homeless people now than ever before. And so there's all these homeless people that are sleeping behind these empty buildings. These are companies, some well-known companies that have closed. I mean, right now you got not only Walmart, you have CVS closing stores, just a number of different banks closing banks, just so many different places. A lot of towns, when you go through them, almost look like a ghost town. I was in my hometown, Meridian, where I grew up at, to visit a few weeks ago, and over half of the mall, three quarters of the mall is closed. 3/4 of the mall is closed. J.C. Penney's, Dillard's, just a variety. It's hardly anyone left in the mall. 3/4 of the mall is closed. And so you go through these towns and you see all these empty buildings, all these homeless people. And so it reminded me, God reminded me that he had sent this to me, and it's actually on YouTube, where I saw a empty building. It looked like it had been a Walmart. Saw a building that was completely empty, but it still had the power on in it. And so if you notice, these empty buildings out there, where these businesses have closed, they still have the power on to those buildings. So that lets you know that these buildings are going to be used for something else because they're keeping the power on them. And so I had this dream a long time ago where I saw these empty buildings and I saw all these people on the outside of the building. All these people were outside standing, sitting down. There was like mass unemployment. So you could go back and find that, but that has come to pass and it will continue to get worse. Matter of fact, they're projecting right now in 2024 that America will lose 10,000 jobs per month, 10,000 per month. So on to the dream that I had, very profound dream. And this dream is called Here Comes the Bride. And so it starts with me sitting in the driveway at this house, and it's night. And I'm not sure if it's night because it's an eclipse or if it's just nighttime, but it's night. And I'm sitting in this driveway. And so a policeman walks up, and apparently he has received a call on this house. And he speaks and he proceeds to go to check around the house. And what was given to me on this is the lawlessness that I've talked about before, mass crime that is going on right now, but will continue to get worse. A lot of people talk about Chicago and places like that, but it's more widespread. It's the entire country. Businesses, people are just running in businesses and grabbing merchandise and running out the door. So lawlessness. And so then I was taken up into the air and I saw this wide I don't know if it was 6 lanes, 8 lanes, whatever. But I saw all first responders driving up this wide road. Firemen, policemen, paramedics, all first responders. And guess what? I even saw the military among them. And it was weird because the military that was among them was a ship. Okay. And the ship was in the middle of them, and they were surrounding the ship, and they were all rushing. And this ship had self-sufficient water. So the ship was moving along with the fire trucks and the policemen, and it was producing water up under the ship so the ship could glide. And so I'm suspended in the air, and I'm looking down, and I'm seeing this. And so I'm back in my car, and I start driving towards town. I'm in this metropolitan city. I'm in a humongous city. So I'm not in my hometown. I'm in a humongous city. So I start driving to downtown, and I reach downtown, and again, we're on a 6 to 8 lane road through town, and there's this massive traffic jam. It's bumper to bumper, and nobody's moving. All of a sudden, the sky starts to open up. And when the sky starts to open up, people jump out their cars and start to look at the sky. I did not get out of my car. And all of a sudden, I don't know whether it was over my radio or what, but all of a sudden, the song started to play. Here Comes the Bride. So I'm sitting there, and then all of a sudden, I heard this song, and it was played loud, and it starts going, dun, 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 dun. It started playing Here Comes the Bride, the wedding song. And then it stops. And so I jump out the car and I run into this nearby building. And there's all these people following me. They're following me all over this huge building that we're in. It's a 2-story building. And so everywhere I went, whether it was downstairs, upstairs, these people were following me. And so once I was upstairs, I felt like I was in a dead end. Almost like this was a church building almost. And so I come back down and I walked out the building. And when I left the building, the people quit following me. They were only confined to the building, okay? They would not leave the building. They were confined by the building. And what God gave me on that is it really represents the church, a lot of the church, not the bride, but the church, because the church is stuck in denominations, okay? And so they believe in denominations. They believe in a particular church or a particular pastor. And so that's who they follow. And so as long as I was in the church, they were willing to follow me, okay? They were willing to listen to what I had to say. But as soon as I left the building, as soon as they heard what I said and I left the building, they did not take what I said and put it into action, if you understand what I'm saying. They did not put it into action because they listened to me, but they were caught up into the denominational lifestyle that they had in the church. Okay. So once I left the church, they stayed inside that building. Okay. They refused to leave the building. So I went back to my car and the dream ended. And so for me, immediately when I awakened, when I woke up, immediately I went, Jesus is getting ready to return. Because what Jesus was showing me is that he is getting ready to return for the bride. Okay? Now we know, just as I preached last Sunday, that not all of the church will be going. Only part of the church going. Those who lived according to God's word. Okay? So Jesus is getting ready. The bride is almost ready. The bride is almost ready. So when the fulfillment of the Gentiles come, then Jesus will return to get the church. Okay? So the reason that the song "Here Comes the Bride" was being played is because the bride is almost ready. Here comes the bride. Okay? So the bride is almost ready. So that's why the song was being played, because we're almost out of time. Now you look around. There's all these cashless stores now. You can't even go to a football game. There's a high school game I want to go to tonight. Cashless. I can't take cash and pay to get into the game. I have to pay ahead of time with my card. There's restaurants, they don't take cash. Stadiums, they don't take cash. Someone was telling me about a food place in Nashville that I should check out the next time I'm there. But they said, oh, one thing, they don't take cash. So we're quickly moving to a cashless society. We're quickly moving into complete lawlessness. People don't care. They're stealing everything. People are sleeping with other people's wives. People are sleeping with children. People are deep into homosexuality. There's all these laws being changed. You know, people selling drugs. There's so many things that are going on. And in Matthew, it tells you, you may not know the day or the hour because no man does. Only the Father. But it tells you that when you see the fig tree branches are tender, you know that summer is nigh. And likewise, you know by the things that are going around, that are going on in the world, that Jesus' return is nigh. And I don't even have to get into what the weather is doing right now. It hadn't rained here in forever. That's judgment. Look it up. Till next time, God bless you. God keep you. Be safe.